So good morning guys, in this episode I'll be taking you to Hallstatt. It looks like a great weather today, and yesterday obviously there was huge downpour everywhere in Salzburg, so my shoes got wet, but it dried off with the help of the newspaper this morning. So yeah, let's go. So after we figured out that, we figured out since we were exploring Salzburg yesterday, but Google Map is not really reliable when it comes to the public transportation, because it keeps on getting us on certain trains, on certain buses that it would take us pretty much like a much longer time, and it's like a much more expensive route to go. So we just decided to ask the local there on how to get to Hallstatt, as well as ask the internet. Well, typed it in, and we had to take the bus 150. But it turns out this bus that we had to take, there's a special schedule. Some buses do go, some of the schedule do go to the Bad Ischl, which is the bus station where we want to get off and transfer with a train to Hallstatt. But some of the 150 buses, according to schedule, doesn't stop at that Bad Ischl. It just stops somewhere like 3 stations before, which is, something new. Because usually the bus, like one line, in my experience, always goes to, the end station, even with the same number. None of them ever in my life would stop 3 stations earlier as a terminal station for that particular one, even though it has the same number. So we ended up having to wait another roughly half an hour. And when the right 150 bus came, it was 21 euros for both of us to get on. And with the train, it was like extra, I think 5 euros or 7 euros, I'm not sure, for both of us to get onto the train. And yeah, but when you sit in the bus, you're bound to see a lot of nice views here and there. So if you're going by bus, especially if you're taking the bus from Gniegel, Salzburg Gniegel, where we took our bus from, try to sit on the left side, like at the window. That's the place where you'll see better views and everything. I was sitting on the right side, well, first on the left side, but there was someone beside me because the bus was pretty full, and they were really pretty much full of Korean and Chinese tourists, pretty much. That's how you're on the right bus as well, is that if there's a lot of Korean and Chinese tourists on the bus, that's it's probably the right bus to take. But yeah, as shown in the video here, it's you have a lot of nice views, the mountain views and everything, if you manage to get that window seat on the left side. But I was sitting on the right side, as my friend was sitting on the right side when we got in, so I just moved to the right side. But it would have been so much better had I sat on the left side and wait for someone else to, go off the bus and just move to the window seat and then get some pictures, but no. Oh well. Otherwise, it's a pretty long bus drive. Well, it's not really long, it's 1.5 hours to 2 hours, depending on the traffic. And then you just have to wait for the train, and it's not that bad, really. So we're here now in a station. Ischl. So Hallstatt. These are the timings. Zeit, Zug nach Bahnsteig.
Where are we now?
We're on 12. So Hallstatt comes at 12:47. Yeah, 12:47 is Hallstatt.
Oh.
Yeah. Then in Salzburg or anywhere in those kind of regions of the country, Austria, you're bound to see people with Lederhosen and Dirndl, the traditional clothes, just saying. Then when you go inside the train, when the train leaves, you're also bound to see more beautiful views outside the windows. So yeah, actually from both sides this time, both left and right side, you're bound to see some really nice views. And being the train, like you're in the train, it's not going to be as cramped in as say if you're in the bus. But I still think that it would look a lot better like in October when, you know, the leaves turn to orange, yellow, golden color, things like that. So yeah, if possible, just try to come during that time because I think it's just nicer. Or even winter when there's snow everywhere, which is also nice. But otherwise the train ride was not that long, and once you get out of the train, you have to take the ferry to the actual town itself, and the ferry was like €5 for 2 people, but you can use the same ticket on the way back, so it's pretty much, you know, both go and back, like go and return tickets for €5 for 2 of us, so it's $2.50 per person. So yeah, I think it's just not that expensive, so it's okay. And try to be like one of the first people to get on the boat, because at the back of the boat you can actually pretty much save your place and take some really nice views, or get a proper seat in the boat at least, because there are just a lot of tourists and a lot of them will have luggages and baggages where, you know, if you don't get the early seats, you'll miss the seat. That said, even though you don't get the seats, you still can pretty much stand on the boat. It's just a really short ride. It's just a ferry taking you to the other side of the lake, that's all. And you can always walk around and take some pictures in the meantime. So after arriving in Hallstatt, obviously the first thing we did was just exploring the actual town itself. So we went up the mountain from one side to the other side, and yeah, it doesn't take long to actually, you know, explore the entire town. It's not really much to it. It's a really small town with really nice houses and architecture here and there, and it's a place where you can definitely photograph a lot of things, but also be careful that you're not photographing pretty much the same stuff, because a lot of the architecture is repeated here and there, obviously being a small town, and there are always like really new houses with the traditional style architecture, which you might want to consider whether you really want to take pictures of it or not. But otherwise, it's a really nice town. People are friendly. There are tourists everywhere that, you know, sometimes I would start feeling bad for the locals living there, like seeing tourists every day. And on the other hand, it could be a much more peaceful and quiet town. But yeah, you know, I was one of the tourists as well, so I can't complain much. But it's a really nice place to visit, and we did not rent the boat out and paddle into the lake simply because it was a really hot day, and we arrived at pretty much the midday, and it's summer, and you know, even staying in the shadow, like under the shadow, it was burning already. So we decided not to take the boat out for that reason, and we only had a few like 3 or 4 hours there in total, because we would need to take another 3 or 4 hour trip back to Salzburg. And especially when the buses that would go from Bad Ischl back to Salzburg is very limited, and they don't go that late, so we decided to also leave early. And obviously we had to eat something there because we were really hungry. It was a really hot day and everything. I could hear people complaining, like even Asian tourists complaining, like, wow, it's so warm. And then the other tourists would be like, yeah, but at least it's not as boiling hot as Prague. So yeah, that was really something interesting, that I could understand some of the languages there. But otherwise, Hallstatt, though we had really little time in Hallstatt, it was a really nice trip. And now we're heading back to Salzburg. That said, when you go to Hallstatt in summer, do bring a lot of sunscreen, because you will be burned at some point. Like if you like to explore and go on the boat trip and everything, just bring a lot of sunscreen. Just saying. And the way back is pretty much as straightforward as on the way to Hallstatt, pretty much. And apparently the best place to go from to Hallstatt is from Salzburg if you start there, like from one of the major cities. I know this episode has been a really short episode, simply because we only spent a few hours there pretty much, but all the pictures and all the all my selected pictures will be shown by the end of the video, so I hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions about the trip, please comment down below. And yeah, we pretty much caught the sunset. I even took the sunset, like pictures of sunset on the bus. I think I did annoy some people who were with me, because I did not put my camera on silent mode. I put it on like the full mirror flipping mode. Yeah, but that's it for the trip. Thank you very much for watching. I really love the city. Have a nice journey. Bye.